Just get the video started. Just have fun. 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 Turn on the fan. Just turn it on. You're boiling in here. All of a sudden it's getting super hot. Annoyingly hot. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. It is possible. Ha! All right, welcome back, everybody. Today's video, first of all, it's Saturday, and it feels good. It feels good that it's Saturday. Thank God it's Saturday. Most chores are done. I went to the gym. It's been a long time, many years. I finally made the effort to go to the gym, especially with the pressure of my doctor reminding me of the importance of staying healthy and building strong muscles so that it can hold the body up better, so that the body can actually handle dealing with rougher things, such as, working in hard labor. Anyway, so for those of you that have stopped by, I thank you for your time, and today's video is going to be about one of my designs that I did in the past, and I'm gonna break it down. I'll try to speed this up. I've been watching several of my older videos, and I noticed that I take forever to deliver my message. And of course, my apologies. It's because I'm just not good at this yet, and I'm just trying to figure out how can I do this faster. And honestly, it's just gonna take more videos. It's just that simple. So for those of you that have been patient with me and have given these videos a chance, I thank you very much. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will get started right now. Now, this design that I did is based on a book that I read many years ago. It's called Perdido Street Station by China Miéville. It's a bizarre book. It's got crazy visuals. It's steamy, dirty, buggy. Bugs and humans are living together. Weird creatures. It's a bizarre world. So if you could always check it out. You don't necessarily have to go by the book. You can just look up the review of this book to get an idea of what it's about. So you understand what it's about better than the way I am explaining. Better than the way I am explaining it to you. Now, I did other designs for this book, but I didn't like most of them, so gone, deleted, out the way. However, one in particular that I kept, that I really liked to this day, is a scene in this book where I'm going to try to remember what I was reading. They had this crazy bug escape, and these bugs were basically... Okay, so, yes. The backstory. In that book, there's a point where these bugs are used for creating drugs, and the way they create these crazy, incredible drugs is they would take a human being, suck their consciousness out of them, and then produce some kind of drug from their system that is, I guess, kind of like the way honey is made from bees. It was similar to that idea. And then the underground big drug dealers would distribute it to the cities and make a lot of money from it because it was such a rare drug and it was hard to make. So anyway, when these crazy bugs or moths, I guess, yeah, that's what they were. There were special moths that escaped. They were causing chaos because as soon as that moth would grab hold of you and then suck your consciousness out of you, you would just be a vegetable. You wouldn't die. You would have to be cared for, but you were a vegetable. You were never going to return back and be aware, be conscious of anything. So with that problem, the government was trying to find solutions to get control of these bugs. And the problem was so they went through a lot of options and they couldn't figure it out, but they knew a way that's possible. And it was through using these technological, it's like technology plus magic put together, where they would create this ring and use these devices so that they would go to the underworld, basically Hades, so basically hell. And in this scene that I'm about to present, they show up in front of the ambassador of the abyss, which is down there, and they're trying to negotiate for help. Like, basically, we need your help to get a control of our situation, and at the same time, well, obviously, nothing's for free. They're going to take something in exchange. And so I'll show you the sketch. Well, this is the cleanup sketch. Was the rough sketch, and this is the painting that I did. So I will, I'll show you the painting first because it would make more sense. Let me just make it full screen, zoom in. If you could just imagine the characters were, let me just pull up a color that's easy to see. The characters would have been somewhere in this foreground, which I need to extend the canvas. Whoops. Okay. Ooh, yellow. That's no good. Since I'm working with white, let's go black. Let's put a nice dark tone. Okay. No. Stay away from the yellow. Okay, that's good enough. So this was the ambassador of the abyss, and in the book it was described that he was pretty much like a hyena type of creature, which is why I drew this hyena looking boss guy sitting here. So they were basically somewhere here, and they're standing in his presence with their pointy hats. There's like another one here. You like my stick figure drawings, don't you? Another one here. Something like that, and I think there was another one here. And they had these cables or something like that with some special, I guess, some magical protective circle they were in with their own devices that connected everything. So think about like steam engines with a whole bunch of cables and some kind of basically magic mixed into it. Don't ask me how that works. So they were able to teleport into this location so that they can have a conversation with the big man down there. And what's so that's the backstory. So besides the descriptions in the book that I'm talking about, there wasn't much talking about what this place looked like, what I designed, which is why I actually really like explaining this piece, because this is my take on what it would have possibly looked like if this was actually designed. Now they actually, let's say they teleport it this way, and they're negotiating, explaining their situation, and this guy, who is obviously someone that that deserves to be greatly feared because he is holding the power of being down there, and as you can see from his whoops. Yeah, the things that I wanted to. Oh no! I drew on top of the layer. No! Don't save it. Okay, I'm gonna get out. Don't save. Give me a sec, sorry. This is very professional of me. Okay, that solved the problem. Don't draw on the same layer. In case I save it, it's the only copy that I have. I don't even know if I have a backup somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, I'll explain the design first, and then I'll try to animate these ideas in my head so that you can see how this place could possibly come alive if this was in a movie or a game. So the guy is here. Here, let's draw a better guy. Yeah, we have his nice hat, and he is communicating with him. Maybe he's got some long robe. The cable's holding him so that he doesn't end up falling into this world and this underground world, which would suck. That is okay. That is the scene. That is the set. Now, I wanted this guy to be extremely intimidating. One, I made it so that we're looking up at him and he's looking down at us. And another thing to point out is his enormous desk that is basically made of stone, and it's attached right into the frame of this location. Another thing to keep in mind is his crazy long, unnecessarily long chair, which has the spider looking design behind it. Another thing that just indicates, ooh, something's not right with this place. And if you've seen gates at cool graveyards, if you Google it, you'll see like really, really, really nice designs. I need a smaller brush. Basically, they have these nice looking fences everywhere. And then it has like different patterns in it and spikes at the top, and you got a whole bunch of branches growing on top, and then the gate opens and then you walk in. Let's see, something like that. So if I zoom in, like the top of this one, this chair basically is a reference. I designed that chair referencing those nice looking gates at the cemetery. That's it. Another thing is I wanted these gargoyles. Let me get rid of this for a second, open a new one. I wanted these gargoyles to not be the same thing. In my previous the tavern video that I made, I was explaining how you should repeat designs, and it creates balance. It helps with perspective and so on and so forth. But in this case, I could have taken this gargoyle and copied it over here. I honestly don't think it would have looked good. So this little structural column here, or base for the chair, for the desk, excuse me, once that was put in place, what I did was I wanted the gargoyles to be different from each other. So you could use your imagination. Are those gargoyles alive? Or are they made of stone? But somehow they slowly just move around and just like looking around with red fiery eyes, so just to creep the life out of you. And with this guy, I would imagine, and apparently when you talked to this ambassador of the abyss, his voice would echo, because I guess it's a different realm. It's the spiritual world. It's not meant to be a good place that you're entering. So I was just imagining his voice would just be like, whoa, 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 whoa. What can I do for you? No, you cannot We will refuse. We have refused. We. It's almost like his voice is echoing and it's creeping you out at the same time, and it's just violent and scary and just, you know, it's got that demonic deep voice to it. So that's how I imagined him to be. Let's see, the cool looking desk over here. If I zoom in, I actually designed, even though the painting kind of hides it, that's supposed to be like a demon flying. Okay, and that's his leg. That's his other leg. And that's his enormous wings, bat-like wings. Okay. So, okay, how do I explain this one? So, okay, that is supposed to be a picture. Okay, this entire thing is like a giant painting that I designed, so that subconsciously, when you're looking at it, you get the idea of what happens when you're going up these stairs. Not by volunteering, of course, you're being dragged up these stairs and thrown into the open pit. So the demon is flying over. You got this guy here, he's tormenting souls. Here you have, you know, endless souls going out to infinity. It's like a sea of people being tormented forever and ever. You have another demon here tormenting them. You can see his wings. You can see his head shape here. You have another one here. Clearly, this one is a lot easier to read. And he's tormenting souls. Here, I wanted to put the one eye that represents the devil, and some cool looking patterns that would help with flow, because flow is very, very, very important in design. Okay, another thing is I wanted to do, so when you're drawing, you have to lead your audience, okay? People have to look at your work, okay? They have to look at your work and not have to guess what they're looking at least for the most part. It should subconsciously just make sense. Like, they don't have to sit there and break it down. Like, oh, now I get it. It should just be, I just want to look here. I just want to look at this guy. I want to look here after. Okay? But they don't know that this was intentionally put together so that you actually look at it in those ways. So something to point out here is, that's a new layer. These natural stones that are basically kind of like roots that are hugging, they're holding the cool CEO looking desk. They're flowing. If you notice, I made them so that they flow this way, and then this side is flowing this way. Okay, why did I do that? Because if you're looking here, these stairs and these natural stones are bringing your eyes back here, and then from here you'll most likely look at him. Same thing, same process here. The stairs, the stones will bring you here. You might take a peek at this section, and then you'll naturally look at him. And when you look at him, your eyes might wander for a bit and look at this side. And again, when you're looking here, your eyes are circling back here. And you're looking here, it's circling back here. That's done intentionally. I love drawing with flow, okay? So that's how I like to treat my designs. So another thing to point out, he's obviously a busy, intelligent being. So he's down here, you know, he's got his books, he's got the earth globe here he's staring at on these sharp looking objects. I guess that's, you know, in a way indicates that that's his goal. He wants everybody down there, everybody consume your souls, something like that. He's got a whole bunch of paperwork because, you know, he's not just sitting there doing nothing. He is busy. He's in the business of consuming souls for the devil. And you have a whole bunch of damned souls here. Their skulls are stuck in these fiery stones that are just hot, and it sucks just to go near it, let alone have your skull be stuck here, even though it's just a skull, but you're feeling every single ounce of pain that you are absorbing from being stuck here, and you're for all eternity stuck here, and these guys are stuck here. I know it sucks, but that's the reality of being down there. But anyway, so I wanted to incorporate that into my design to make it look cool, but at the same time not a friendly place. Like you just want to escape this place. So what else? Some just like my tavern design, if you pay attention, I have the stones, for example. They keep changing into different stones. Why? Because when you add variety to design, it's interesting. If you look at like super rich people's homes, their mansions, or especially older periods, you will notice that's what they did. They weren't using, they weren't building things like they do today. Like a lot of the condos I've worked in that they sell for like $1 million a unit, it's just garbage. It's just a box with bare minimum put in there. And you guys have no idea how some of these construction workers do stuff in there, the way they build them. Oh, wouldn't want to be the guy buying it. Make sure you get your place inspected by a professional before you buy it. That's all I'm saying. So, different stones, cracks in the stones. Obviously, this place is not new. These designs that I incorporated in here are pretty much things you would see in nice looking cemeteries. And when I say nice, I mean it well designed. I mean, cemetery is a depressing place, obviously, but when you're looking at it from a designer's point of view, you could still find very, very, very interesting shapes. Looking at old cemetery designs. So yeah, there's a lot of Gothic elements. I love Gothic designs. I love the medieval period, the Victorian period. So things like that. Anyway, but I'm gonna take a step back. Before I did that painting, obviously, here I'll call up a new layer. I did this super rough sketch. I mean, my goodness, it's I like the energy. Okay, it's like you meet someone you're not attracted to, but you love their energy. All right, so it's kind of like that. That's how I see this piece. Heck, this could be a piece of its own, really. As you can see here, it kind of looks, I don't know, like a cow or something. Yeah, because it was the early stages of trying to figure out what goes where. You can see where I was going with this at this point. You can see like the major elements have been put in place. The gargoyle, the structures to break the desk. Because okay, so for example, the desk. I don't want the desk to just be, a desk. Boring. Oh, yawn. No, like, look at this. That's, what are you drawing? A box? Man, that is pathetic. Boring. Now, there you go. There's the desk. And obviously, you need the back one here. Yeah, the perspective on that. Whoopsie. That's horrendous. So, I mean, yeah, no. That's bad. I wanted a desk that would fit in this environment. So, that's no good. So, in this case, just adding these cool looking, what are they called? I don't know. Pillars, columns, desk columns. I don't know. But just adding those helps break the shape here and adds something interesting to it. And together they complement each other. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Yeah, you can see here I was trying to figure out, do I want to go this way with the structure and, you know, build it down? Or do you want to go more this way? Or do I want to go more like a triangle? Excuse me, I need some water. Mono went up. Yeah, that's how I sketch. When I sketch as I'm thinking. I don't like to. I don't really sit there and I plan ahead. And no, I just sketch, and I try to have fun when I'm sketching. And the more fun I'm having, the better my designs seem to come across. So who cares if it's a mess like this? Who cares? Make a mess, you know? The only thing I regret doing, I mean, regret is a strong word, but the only thing I should say that I should focus on doing in the future, or should I say not doing, is that I took this this highly energetic image, okay, and I did the whole design on a new layer. Now you might be wondering, well, what's the problem? Why would that concern you? Well, because when you take an initial sketch and you put a new piece of paper or a new layer, if you're doing it digitally, and you're actually trying to do the new copy, the cleaner version, yes, it will help you. Yes, it will be easier, but it kills the energy. Okay? So you could tell the difference. Like when you look at this piece and you look at this piece, the energy in this one is much stronger, even though it's just a blob. I mean, it's a mess. It's a disaster. You don't have to be dramatic about it, buddy. So what I remember doing when I worked on this sketch, I try to go in and actually add some energy lines, basically make a mess out of it, treat it like a sketch. So here I'll draw a new layer, go back to red, because red works with white, perfect. You know, instead of having these clean skulls, you know, I actually went in there and treated it like a sketch. That's right, you know. And I made sure, I should mention that. Another thing I want to point out is, for example, I love drawing skulls. Don't ask me why, but I do. So when you're drawing skulls or rocks or leaves or trees, or whatever the case may be, always have it in variety. And when I say variety, I'm talking about shapes. So you can see over here the shape of this one next to, look how much smaller this one is, and how big this skull is, and then how tiny this one is, and then how enormous this one is. And another thing I want to point out is you could tell this skull is looking this way, this one is looking this way, this one is looking this way, this one is that way, this one is this way, this one is this way. You know, let's see, this one is this way. Why? Because when you look at the design, again, you see a variety of shapes, you see different directions within just this area of my design. Therefore, when I turn this off, it's more pleasing to look at. I'm not talking about these souls being tormented forever and ever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it comes to design. Overall, it looks beautiful. There's a lot of variety, and if you're showing it to people, and again, most people that look at your art are not actually, they're not artists to begin with. They just appreciate art. which is fine. But even them, in their subconscious mind, they can tell a good design from a bad design, even if they're not trained. So when you actually do these things intentionally and consciously, it actually helps register in their minds of, I don't know why, but I love this piece type of effect. So anyway, okay, this video is carrying a little too long. Let me just conclude this. So let me recap my super duper rough sketch, and then my cleaner sketch that I did, and I've already explained the backstory, and this is the final painting. And yes, of course, before you leave, a biblical message. Here it goes. I'm going to read, a Bible verse from Matthew 7:14. Enter by the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Because narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. So what does that mean quickly? Broad is the way that leads to destruction. That is basically everybody trying to go to heaven in their own way, whether it's through different religions or trying to be a good person or do good deeds, so on and so forth. And that's the Bible. That's God saying, no. None of that is going to work. And that is why most people are going to go to hell, unfortunately. Now, it says, because narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, there are few who find it. So what makes it so difficult to go to heaven? It's the fact that people are not willing, okay? Most people are not willing to admit that they have broken God's laws, lying, cheating, blaspheming, stealing, disobeying parents, fornicating, so on and so forth. So you can look up the 10 Commandments. So every single one of us have broken that. And when you understand that, then you'll know that you're not perfect and you can never be perfect. That is why the story of Jesus is so precious, is that Jesus is God himself, the second person in the Trinity, okay, the Son of the Father, that lived the perfect life we couldn't live and died the death that we deserve, so that when we humans repent, which is turn our minds away from sin into the opposite direction, ask for forgiveness, God promises that we will be forgiven, not because of our good works, our righteousness, but because of what our precious Lord and Savior Jesus did upon that cross, that he lived the perfect life we could never live, and he died the death that you and I deserve. Until next time, which is tomorrow.